Why is it that what we can't get always seems the best? This perplexing question often leaves us wondering, as we frequently find that the goals we tirelessly pursue lose their luster once achieved. Psychology offers some intriguing explanations for this phenomenon, which can provide interesting insights. The human brain reacts to novelty much like a cat reacts to a laser pointer. When a cat sees a red dot darting around, it instantly goes into hunting mode, pouncing without hesitation. Similarly, our brains become exceptionally excited when faced with the unknown and the novel. This excitement is driven by the brain's dopamine system. Dopamine, often called the pleasure molecule, is actually more closely related to anticipation and motivation. Whenever we chase a goal, our dopamine levels rise, filling us with a sense of motivation and expectancy. Imagine you see a new smartphone that you've been eyeing for a while. This phone isn't just powerful, it has a design that makes you drool. You tell yourself, "This is what I need. I must have it." So you start saving up, thinking about it day and night, completely filled with anticipation. Every time you think of that phone, your dopamine inflates like a balloon, bringing you endless motivation and a sense of joy. However, once you finally get your hands on the much-coveted phone, the excitement begins to fade after a few days. This is because your dopamine levels start to drop, and your brain enters a state of calm. At this point, you might find that the phone isn't as amazing as you thought it would be, and may even have some minor issues that disappoint you. Why does this happen? Because during the anticipation phase, your brain had over-idealized the phone, creating a gap between expectation and reality once you finally obtain it. This phenomenon isn't just limited to smartphones. It applies to other aspects of life as well. Take love, for example. Many people have experienced the thrill of having a crush. The object of your affection's every move can tug at your heartstrings, making them seem perfect despite any obvious flaws. However, once you actually start a relationship, the mundane realities and imperfections gradually emerge, and the once perfect image loses its shine. This psychological phenomenon is known as idealization, where we unconsciously enhance the qualities of what we are pursuing to keep us motivated and ensure we don't give up easily. Imagine if we could see all the flaws and challenges of a goal right from the start. Would we still be as driven to pursue it? Probably not. We'd likely give up before even trying. Another related psychological phenomenon is the fear of missing out, FOMO. This is an emotional response where we fear missing out on something great. When we see others seemingly enjoying better things or living more exciting lives, our brain amplifies this perceived gap, making us feel like we're missing out. This fear drives us to continually chase new goals and experiences to fill the void. Thus, the notion that what we can't get is the best perpetually plays in our minds, making us perpetually dissatisfied with what we already have. So, how can we break this cycle? Psychologists offer some advice. First, we need to cultivate a sense of gratitude. Gratitude helps us see the value in what we already have, reducing the relentless pursuit of unattainable goals. Second, learn to accept imperfections. Nothing is flawless. Learning to embrace imperfections helps us enjoy the good in life. Lastly, focus on the process rather than the outcome. The pursuit itself is a form of growth and experience. If we can enjoy the journey instead of obsessing over the result, our psychological satisfaction will significantly increase. Moreover, there's the concept of hedonic adaptation, which explains why the happiness we derive from obtaining something new often fades quickly. Essentially, we quickly get used to new circumstances or possessions, and they become part of our baseline expectations. This adaptation means that the joy from achieving or acquiring something new is often short-lived, and soon we return to our previous level of happiness. This can explain why what we currently have never seems as thrilling as what we don't yet possess. In relationships, hedonic adaptation can also manifest. When you first start dating someone new, everything about them seems exciting and wonderful. Their quirks are endearing, their flaws negligible. But over time, as the relationship stabilizes and routine sets in, those same quirks might become annoying and the flaws more pronounced. The initial rush of excitement fades as we adapt to the presence of our partner in our lives. Another factor contributing to the allure of the unattainable is the scarcity principle. This principle, rooted in economic theory, but widely applicable in psychology, suggests that people place a higher value on things that are scarce. If something is difficult to obtain, our minds are wired to perceive it as more valuable. This is why limited edition items or exclusive events generate so much excitement and desire. The very difficulty in obtaining them makes them seem more precious. This principle also plays a role in our interpersonal relationships. Think about the person who is always busy and hard to pin down for a date. Their unavailability can make them seem more attractive, as their time and attention appear more valuable due to their scarcity. Conversely, someone who is always available might be perceived as less desirable. Interestingly, the grass is always greener syndrome also comes into play. This cognitive bias leads us to believe that others have it better, whether it's in terms of possessions, relationships, or life experiences. Social media exacerbates this by presenting curated, highlight reel versions of other people's lives. We compare our mundane reality to these polished portrayals and feel that what we have is lacking. This constant comparison fuels the belief that what we don't have is inherently better. How do we combat these ingrained psychological tendencies? Here are some practical strategies. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being present in the moment and appreciating what you have without judgment. This practice can help counteract the constant yearning for what we don't have by grounding us in the present. Set realistic expectations. Understand that nothing is perfect, and every goal or possession has its downsides. By setting realistic expectations, you can reduce the gap between reality and your idealized version of what you want. Limit social media exposure. Reducing the time spent on social media can help decrease the comparisons that fuel feelings of inadequacy and the belief that what you don't have is better. Reflect on past experiences. Think about past goals you've achieved or possessions you've obtained. Reflect on how the initial excitement faded and what you learned from that experience. This reflection can provide perspective on current pursuits. Focus on personal growth. Emphasize growth and learning in your pursuits. When you focus on what you can learn and how you can grow from the process, the outcome becomes less important and you're less likely to feel disappointed. Celebrate small wins. Take time to celebrate the small achievements and milestones along the way. This practice helps you appreciate the journey and recognize the progress you're making, rather than just fixating on the final goal. Understanding why the unattainable seems so desirable allows us to approach our desires with a more balanced perspective. By incorporating gratitude, mindfulness, and realistic expectations into our lives, we can appreciate what we have and find contentment in the present. Life's joy isn't about having everything, but in savoring each moment and recognizing the value in what we already possess.